James smiled robotically. Stiffly, he stood up, just like a wooden puppet. Step by step, he left Century Hospital. He bought Thea her ranking, making her the laughingstock of Kensington and the medical conference. He did not care. He left Medical Street. After he left, he studied his surroundings to make sure that he was not being followed. Then, he called a cab to Common Clinic. At Common Clinic, Ron was there. He was talking to May in the clinic. James walked in. Both of them stood up immediately and said simultaneously, "James." James waved a hand and sat down before saying, "Have you found out who was trying to kill May this morning?" Ron nodded. "I've got all the information." "Tell me," Ron said. "These people arrived in Kensington 8 days ago. They're mercenaries from the border of the Southern Plains. They're part of the Purgatory Army." "Oh, the Purgatory Army," adds by Pub Future. James narrowed his eyes. Having been at the Southern Plains for 10 years, he was familiar with the Purgatory Army. The Purgatory Army was a band of mercenaries at the border of the Southern Plains. They were impressive, being one of the top mercenary bands in the whole world. However, he did not know who led the army. "Did you manage to find out who their leader is?" Ron shook his head. "We haven't managed to discover that yet. However, I managed to find out that someone in the Purgatory Army has made contact with Jonathan Harris. It is him after all." James' expression darkened. Jonathan was known as the Dr. King, apparently able to cure patients even if they were an inch from death. He was the president of the National Doctors Association of Geosenge. At the very least, James could now ascertain that Jonathan was the Dr. King Willie had mentioned. He was also the mastermind of the Battle of Mount Thunder Pass. Then again, who was the real mastermind behind Jonathan? James could not even begin to guess. Ron said, "Jonathan's leading Universal Hospital at the medical conference." James asked, "Have you investigated everything about Universal Hospital?" "Yes." Ron nodded. "The registrar of Universal Hospital is someone named Lucas Hamilton. He's a very mysterious person. 50 years ago, he was known as the god of medicine. Rumor has it he's a genius with medicine and could perform miracles." Lucas Hamilton. James frowned. Who was this Lucas Hamilton? Ron continued, "So far we haven't gotten any dirt on Lucas yet, but our intelligence tells us that after the Emperor appeared in Kensington, he has had close contact with Lucas." James sighed. Since the Emperor had been in contact with Lucas, one could hypothesize that he had something to do with the battle on Mount Thunder Pass. Ron asked, "What should we do now? Should we capture the Purgatory Army?" James waved a hand. "Don't be rash. I want to see what they will do at the medical conference." "Yes, sir." Ron nodded. James considered it before saying, "Watch Lucas, Jonathan, the Emperor, and the other VIPs from the capital. I want to know every move they make." "Yes, sir." James waved a hand. "All right, that's all. You're free to go." Ron turned and left. Only after he left did May ask, "James, is something happening?" James rubbed his chin, thinking about it. "I can't figure out what they're playing at either. They had the chance to finish May off this morning, but they didn't. They just used Thea to blackmail me. It seemed like all they wanted was for me to not attend the medical conference." He was thinking about what the mastermind's true purpose was. Jonathan could be behind all of it, and maybe the Emperor was the true mastermind. It was all very confusing. It felt like the calm before the storm. James had a strong feeling that Kensington would be chaos in no time. All the different armies, political parties, and forces would be gathered there. May. Yes, James. James drummed his fingers on the table, deep in thought. "Is it possible for you to get in touch with any assassins from the Dark Castle?" May nodded. "I could get in touch with some of them." James said, "Get in touch with them now. Say that you're having trouble in Kensington and require backup." James had to recruit some experts. Assassins from the Dark Castle were a solid choice. "Got it," May obeyed. She typed out a short message on her phone. "Black Snake, I have failed my mission and blown my cover. I've killed the middleman. I'm hiding out in Kensington now, but I'm injured. Please help me escape. After she crafted the message, she keyed in a number and sent it out. Ads by Pub Future. James watched as she sent the message, asking, "Who's Black Snake?" May said, "An SSS-ranked assassin from the Dark Castle. He's the best assassin the Dark Castle has trained. He's ranked 3rd in the world and has never failed any mission. What's Black Snake like? Can we recruit him?" Oh, May hesitated. Based on what she understood about Black Snake, he was not someone easily recruited. He was loyal to the Dark Castle. Besides being an assassin, he was also the deputy leader of the Dark Castle. James looked at her and asked, "What's going on?" May hesitated before taking a deep breath. "It won't be easy. Black Snake isn't just an SSS-ranked assassin, but he's the deputy leader as well. Besides the mysterious leader, Black Snake takes care of everything." Oh, James looked at May. "If he's the deputy, why did you text him? Aren't you afraid the Dark Castle will come after you with all they have?" May was about to answer when her phone beeped. She looked at it only to discover that it was a string of numbers. James looked at them, asking, "What do they mean?" May explained, "It's a code. Only those from the Dark Castle will be able to decipher it." "What did Black Snake say?" "He said that rules are rules. Since my cover is blown, I should die. And I shouldn't have killed the middleman. However, he will do his best to come to Kensington and help me escape. He even wants to help me cut ties with the Dark Castle and leave the country." James asked, "Who are you to him?" May said, "We're both orphans. The Dark Castle bought us. We've been training together since we were kids. As assassins, we should be cold and unfeeling, but we're just like brother and sister. Ask him when he can get here." "Okay," May replied immediately. This time, she did not send the message in words, but in odd symbols instead. James could not recognize any of the symbols or numbers, but he memorized them. He would get someone to decipher the code later on. May used to be an assassin. She may be under his employ now, but he was not sure if he could trust her completely. She could very well invite more assassins and create more trouble for him. Soon, Black Snake replied. It was a string of numbers. May said, "Black Snake said that he's busy right now. He needs 3 days to get to Kensington." 3 days. James narrowed his eyes. It was the most crucial moment of the medical conference after 3 days. It was too much of a coincidence to be one. "May, you must know that if Black Snake comes to Kensington and doesn't follow my orders, he will be dead. If you say you're like siblings, you are bringing him trouble." James looked at May. "I know." May looked serious. "I'll persuade him. I believe he's had enough of the dark days anyway, and would love to live out in the open." "Fine." James nodded lightly. "Take care of your injuries. Let me know in advance if you have any news." After he finished speaking, he left. He called Ron after leaving Common Clinic. Ron showed up immediately, inside a black multi-purpose vehicle. James was smoking. "Sir." James wrote down a bunch of numbers on a piece of paper and passed it to Ron. "This is a code from the Dark Castle. Find out what it means." "Yes, sir. Also, keep a close eye on May. I want to know every single person she comes in contact with." "Of course." Ron nodded and asked, "Is there anything else?" "That's all. You may return." James disembarked and called a cab home. At Common Clinic, May sat on a chair. As an assassin, she was keenly aware of her surroundings. She knew that Common Clinic was being watched, and there was very little she could do. She looked resigned. Ads by Pub Future. She knew that James did not trust her. There was nothing she could do about it since she was a former assassin. Now, the best thing she could do was persuade Black Snake. As long as Black Snake joined them, she would gain James' trust. Only then would she get to enjoy a good life. Otherwise, only death would be waiting for her. She felt like 3 days were way too long for her. She simply could not wait. She sent Black Snake a text again. I took on a mission to assassinate the Black Dragon. I failed and he knows my true identity. After I escaped, I located the middleman and requested that he escort me out of Kensington, but he tried to pull the trigger on me, so I killed him. I'm badly hurt right now. The Black Dragon is hunting me. I have nowhere else to go. Could you come earlier? I can't do it alone anymore. May threw caution to the wind in an attempt to lure Black Snake to Kensington. She believed that he would come. If he was in trouble, she would go to him regardless of everything. Yarnville. It was a small country among the 28 at the border of the Southern Plains. In a stockade in Yarnville, inside a house, a man with a snake tattoo on his face was reading a text message. As he read it, he smirked. He was Black Snake. He was one of the SSS-ranked assassins of the Dark Castle. He was the deputy leader of the Dark Castle. Of all the assassins, he was among the top 3. Gerard. Yes, sir. A large man approached. Black Snake ordered, inform the top 10 assassins to enter Saul, Kensington. The huge man was stunned. He asked, "What are we doing, sir?" Black Snake stood up and rolled his shoulders. He had a vengeful look on his tattooed face. "We're going dragon hunting." The large man understood at once. "I'm on it right now. Spread the word. The Dark Castle is offering a bounty. It doesn't matter if they succeed or not. As long as they show up, they'll be rewarded with $10 billion. Yes, sir." He made arrangements immediately. Black Snake smiled sinisterly. "May, did you really think I wouldn't find out that you're working with the Black Dragon now? You are baiting me. If so, I'll play your game. The Black Dragon must die this time." James did not know that the Dark Castle had sent out 10 of their best assassins. They were on their way to Kensington to kill him. James returned to the Clahans. As soon as he entered, he saw Thea with a stony expression on her face. "Why didn't you discuss it with me?" James sat on the couch after he entered the house. Thea had a cold expression on her face. She scolded, "Is this why you were so confident? You claimed that I would definitely be among the top 100. Buying my way into it was your solution." Hee. James just chuckled. Thea was furious, yet James was laughing. She almost tore her hair out. "Tell me honestly, how much money did you spend?" "Not much." James did not know at all. Scarlett took care of it. Looking at Thea's expression, he knew that she was really, really angry. He tried to explain, "Darling, all I wanted was to make you happy and allow you your moment in the spotlight. How would I know that people would figure it out so easily? They're too smart nowadays." Hee. "How much money did you spend?" It was all Thea cared about right now. Their family was on its last leg now. One could even say that they had no money left. To live required funds, but James was throwing it all away. "James, how much money do you actually have? What else are you hiding from me? When we bought Pacific over, your card had no more credit, yet you could still produce $3 million. Now, you are spending so much money on buying me my rank. You'd better come clean, otherwise I'll divorce you." Thea was really angry. Ads by Pub Future. James panicked upon hearing that. He walked up to her and nudged her gently with his shoulder. "Come on, calm down. All I wanted was to make you happy. I did spend some money, but you are everything to me. Who cares about money if you're happy? All women like to hear sweet nothings." Thea was no exception. She calmed down a little after what James said. She put on a stony expression and asked, "Where did the money come from?" I borrowed it." James' eyes looked everywhere and found a stroke of inspiration. "I borrowed it from Zara." Thea did not believe him. Zara was in charge of the food and beverage department of Transgenerational Group. She enjoyed a generous salary, but Thea did not believe she had the money to lend to James. Immediately, she called Zara. "Can I help you with anything, Thea?" "Zara, did you lend James some money?" Zara hesitated for a moment. "Lend money to James. James owned Transgenerational. He was rich. Why would he ever need to borrow money? Ah, yes. She recovered from her stupor. James said your guys were going through a rough patch and needed some money, so I lent him some. How much? Oh, Zara was stunned again. What was she supposed to say? Tia, what's going on? Did James spend it on women and wine? Zara did not know what to say and was afraid she would blow James' cover, so she started making stories up. Well, no, Tia sighed. Forget it. Just tell me how much he borrowed from you so I know. I'll get a job soon and pay you back. Is 300,000 a lot? Zara asked cautiously. What? 300,000? Tia squeezed James' thigh with all her might after hearing it. James gritted his teeth. Zara, I'll pay you back as soon as possible. After Tia hung up, she looked at James. Her face looked like it was carved out of stone. James, how dare you? Zara has just started working. You know it's not easy to make money. How could you borrow $300,000 from her? It's just 300,000. James smiled but stopped and shut his mouth when he saw Tia's icy look. He stood up and said, I'll make lunch. He went into the kitchen. Tia looked resigned. She did not know if she wanted to laugh or cry. James went to the kitchen and put an apron on. He hummed as he began to prepare lunch. Just then, May sent him a text. James, I've gotten in touch with Black Snake again. He told me he'd be here tonight and asked for my location. What should I tell him? After he read the message, he considered it before replying. Do you know the repair shop in the west? There's a mountain called Mount Five Valley south of the shop about 10 kilometers away. Just tell him that you're there. Okay, May replied. James got in touch with Ron. Ron, any updates regarding the code? Sir, even Jake's underground intelligence network can't decipher it. I've sent it to the Southern Plains and requested General Grant get an expert. He should be able to get back to me soon. Ads by Pub Future. Good. Tell everyone to be alert. There could be some action tonight. After he gave Ron his orders, he hung up, making lunch while thinking. Soon, lunch was ready. While Tia was waiting for her meal, Gladys, Benjamin, and Alyssa returned from the hospital. Tia, what did you do? How much did you spend on this? Gladys held her phone in her hand, looking at Tia's ranking on the doctor app. She had a stony expression on her face. Look at this. It's only been half a day yet you've had more than 200,000 appointments and treated more than 30,000 people. Century Hospital is infamous now, and the internet has nothing nice to say about you. Tia just buried her head in her food, not saying anything. As she ate, Alyssa said, Mom, I was added to a group chat today. It's a group that's trying to help Tia get votes. Whoever makes an appointment gets $10, but if you complete the treatment and vote for Tia, you get $100. What? Gladys was gobsmacked. $10 for an appointment. With more than 200,000 appointments, you'd have to spend more than $2 million. $100 for each vote and there are more than 30,000 votes. That's more than $3 million. In total, that's more than $5 million. Tia was shocked as well. She glanced at James. She was just about to ask him about it when Gladys pointed at her and yelled. Tia, are you dumb? Why did you spend $5 million on this? What's the point? Also, where did you get the money? To help you clear your debt, I gave you tens of millions of dollars, yet you hid your personal savings from me. Mom, no, it's not like that. How dare you say so? Look at that. You've come out on top. Even the real doctors couldn't keep up with you. Tia did not know what to say. I'm full. I'll take a nap now. I have to go into the office later on. James put down his spoon immediately and got up to leave as well. Hold it, Gladys said. Who's going to clean up if you take a nap? I'll clean up before I go. James got up and took a small stool to the balcony. He started smoking there. He could still hear arguments from inside the house. James did not know what to say. Was it worth it to argue over a few $1 million? If they knew just how much money he had, what would they do? James smiled slightly. He had not even finished his cigarette before someone pulled his ear. He stood, following the pull. In a panic, he shouted, "Darling, ouch. It hurts." Thea's expression was thunderous. "How dare you lie to me, James? You spent millions on this and hid it from me. Who am I to you?" James knew that Thea would get mad. "Darling, let me explain." "What else is there to explain? Why don't you buy a house if you've got millions? Do you want to live with my parents for the rest of your life?" "James, what else more do I have to say about you? I didn't spend that much. Don't listen to their nonsense. The truth is I sought out a hacker and hacked the Doctor app to modify the data secretly. Are you seriously still trying to lie to me? Do you take me for a fool?" "Okay, I'll confess. I did spend some money. I spent a few million, but what is a few million? You are priceless to me. No matter how much I spend on you, it makes me happy." "Where did the money come from?" Thea asked aggressively. "My own," James said while giggling. "Stop laughing. Be serious." James immediately went silent. "I'll ask one more time. Where did the money come from? Did you do something illegal?" asked Thea. James was troubled by her question. His money really did not come from proper channels. Henry lent it to me. Henry's family had a house built about 10 years ago on a large private property with mountains and forests. They were compensated more than 100 million for land acquisition, only borrowed a few million from him. Thea was exasperated. She was mad that James had borrowed so much money without telling her. Ads by Pub Future. "Don't worry, darling. I'll soon be making lots of money. I'll definitely make sure you live a good life. Trust me. After all these things are over, we will have a sensational wedding that will shake the world, and you will be the happiest woman in this world." "Ha," Thea sighed. They were already in massive debt because of Century Group's bankruptcy. Fortunately, Eternality was doing better. They could revitalize the company with some money and get it back on the right track. Moreover, Thea's shares in Eternality had not been stripped from her. As long as Eternality was stabilized, she could receive quite a considerable amount of dividends and pay off the debts as soon as possible. "All right, you rest a bit more. You'll have to go to the company in the afternoon. I'll clean up the dishes." Thea was tough on the outside but soft on the inside. She understood that James wanted to make her happy. However, he paid a high price for it. "It's all right, darling. I'll do it. You go and rest." James pushed Thea back to their room. Afterward, she returned to the living room and cleaned the dishes. It was already 1 in the afternoon after he finished cleaning up. He went back to the room and informed Thea before heading out. He drove to the suburb repair shop, the base of Jake's underground intelligence network. Just when Thea was about to nap, she received a call from Quincy. "Thea, are you free this afternoon?" Yeah. "What's up?" "I'm not busy today and want to go shopping for new clothes." "You want to come with me?" "Sure." After agreeing to meet Quincy, Thea dressed up and headed out. Soon, she arrived at the place agreed with Quincy. The two entered the mall hand in hand. "Thea, how did you and James meet?" "Tell me about it," Quincy inquired. "Me and James." Thea was taken aback by the question. She shook her head and answered, "There's not much to it." Tell me. Quincy shook Thea's arm. "Fine." Thea explained helplessly. "My grandfather recruited a husband for me. James came to apply for it and was selected by my grandfather. Thus, I married him." "That's it." Quincy was surprised. "Yeah, that's it." Quincy frowned and thought to herself for a while. Then, she asked again, "By the way, do you sense anything special about him?" "Huh, what do you mean by special?" Thea looked at Quincy and asked. "And nothing." Quincy did not ask any more questions. It seems Thea isn't aware of James' identity. Thea is his wife, so why is he hiding it from her? Thought Quincy. James hid it very well, and it took me so long to discover his identity as the secret boss of Transgenerational Group. Transgenerational New City is worth trillions of dollars. This amount isn't the market capitalization asset but real money. $1 trillion is a whole different concept. How many people in this world can spend $1 trillion? Thought Quincy. Meanwhile, James arrived at the repair shop in the suburbs. Repair shop, basement room. May had already arrived. James entered the basement. Mr. Caden. Neat and loud greetings rang out. James waved his hand and walked toward the sofa to sit down. May and Ronald stood up simultaneously. Mr. Caden. James. The two greeted in unison. Ads by Pub Future. Sit down, James said as he waved his hand. The two sat down. May, did the Black Snake send any news? Asked James. May shook her head and said, he didn't send any more messages after letting us know that he would arrive in Kensington tonight. Mr. Caden. Ronald hesitated. Go ahead. It's all right. James glanced at him and said. Ronald glanced at May. It's all right. She's one of us. James waved his hands and said. I'll head out for now. May was very sensible. She stood up and walked out of the basement. Mr. Caden. There's news from the underworld that the top 10 global assassins will be secretly sneaking into Seoul and coming to Kensington. Oh, James became interested, squinted his eyes, and asked, the top 10 global assassins? Yes. Ronald nodded and said, this news has already spread on the dark web. The Dark Castle released the news and announced that they would slaughter the dragon this time. Slaughter the dragon. Ha. How arrogant. James chuckled. Mr. Caden, you shouldn't underestimate these enemies. The top 10 assassins are all SSS-ranked assassins. They are incredibly skilled and capable in assassinations. James understood the strength of SSS-ranked assassins. May was one of those SSS-ranked assassins. Her skills surpassed even the 28-nation martial arts gurus. James was fearless. As long as these assassins knew their boundaries and did not touch Thea, killing whoever came at him would be easy. However, James did not intend to kill all of them. He wanted to recruit them, and if possible, he planned to subdue the Dark Castle. May, he called out. May walked in, stood aside, and replied, James. Do you know that the top 10 assassins were dispatched? May nodded. There was a dark web that existed in the underworld. A few people had access to the dark web. She had entered the dark web and already knew about the news. She was about to tell James, but he had already learned of it. May said seriously, the top 10 assassins are not weaker than me. What are you ranked? 8. All right. He knew May's strength, and it was reasonable for her to be ranked 8. He glanced at May and said, there is going to be a fierce battle in Mount 5 Valley tonight. You might be in a dangerous situation. Are you sure about your decision? I owe my life to you. It is an honor to help you, even if it costs my life, May said firmly. All right. Be prepared. James, Ronald, May, and the others got together and started to discuss their action plan for the night. After discussing for more than an hour, they finally finalized their plan. The only thing that James was still worried about was Thea. Although May reassured him that although the assassins were cold-blooded and ruthless, they had professional ethics, killing only those that the employers wanted dead and never involving innocent people. Major assassin organizations would blacklist those who involve innocent people while carrying out their jobs. However, this time it was not a simple case. It was possible that a killer would attempt to harm Thea for the sake of money. Ronald, I'm listening, James. Send 100 people to protect Thea in secret. I don't want anything to happen to my wife during today's act. Understood. Ronald immediately went to make arrangements. With the underground intelligence network he controlled, it was easy to find Thea's whereabouts. 100 experienced soldiers of the Black Dragon Army were dispatched. They dressed in plain clothes and secretly followed behind Thea and Quincy to ensure their safety. May headed to Mount 5 Valley. James waited in the repairs shop underground basement. Ads by Pub Future. The evening arrived in the blink of an eye. James had arrived at the mountain and was less than a kilometer away from the cave where May was hiding in advance. It was already 8 in the evening. Kensington Harbor. A ship approached and quickly docked. A man dressed in a black jacket and black hat walked off the boat. This man was the Black Snake in disguise. He wore a human mask and appeared to be an older man. There were many people at the harbor. Black Snake. Has everyone arrived? Black Snake waved his hands. The top 10 assassins have arrived in Kensington and await your next orders. Black Snake took out his phone and sent me a message. After May received the message, she quickly replied and sent her specific location to the Black Snake. Black Snake wore a wicked smile after receiving a reply. Then, he ordered, May's on the Mount 5 Valley. Pass on the instructions to get rid of her immediately. Also, inform them that the mountain is definitely full of traps, so be careful not to be ambushed by the Black Dragon. Understood. The man immediately went to make arrangements. Another person stepped forward and asked, What are we going to do, Black Snake? The Black Snake smiled devilishly and replied, Of course, to look for Thea. The Black Dragon's biggest weakness right now is Thea. Although we can't kill her, we can still use her to force him into submission. Understood. Mount 5 Valley. In the lush mountain forest, James and Ronald sat together smoking cigarettes under a big tree. James received May's message. After reading the message, he instructed, May has already passed on the location. The people from the Dark Castle should be arriving soon. Inform the others not to act rashly without my order and don't expose themselves. Understood. Ronald immediately went to pass on the order. At the same time, Quincy and Thea were exhausted after walking around for the whole afternoon. They chose a well-decorated hot pot restaurant in Kensington to dine at and enjoy their food. Quincy. Suddenly, a voice sounded. Quincy turned around and saw a man walking toward her. The man appeared to be 25 or 26 years old. He was a decent-looking man dressed in a white suit with delicate facial features. Caleb. Quincy was taken aback for a moment but quickly recognized the man. Why, you're Caleb Freeman. The man smiled. I thought you wouldn't recognize me anymore. I haven't seen you in so many years. I didn't know you returned to Kensington. And who might this gorgeous woman be? Caleb inquired. This is my best friend, Thea, Quincy introduced. Thea smiled at him. Caleb praised, You sure do live up to your name. Would you mind if I joined you two for dinner? Sure. Have a seat. Quincy smiled and introduced the man. Thea, this is Caleb. When I was a child, we lived in the same neighborhood. We haven't seen each other for many years. Nice to meet you. My name is Thea. Thea briefly introduced herself. Caleb also greeted with a smile. At the table not far away, several men were also at a table eating hot pot. They began to be on guard when a stranger approached Thea. They all sighed in relief after realizing it was an acquaintance of Quincy. These men were soldiers of the Black Dragon army sent by James to protect Thea secretly. As long as Thea was not in danger, they were not to reveal themselves. They finished their meal in no time. Outside Hot Pot Restaurant, Caleb said smilingly, Thank you, two beautiful women, for the company. Where do you live, Quincy? I'll send you back. It's fine. I'll just take a taxi back home. Quincy turned down the offer. Ads by Pub Future. It isn't troublesome at all. You two have just allowed me to join you for dinner. It's the least I can do for you. We're not strangers, Caleb insisted. Quincy thought about it for a while, then nodded. All right then. Thanks a lot. Let's go. My car is that way. Caleb made an inviting gesture. He drove an imported BMW. He invited Quincy and Thea to get in his car. Behind them, many people followed. After Thea got in the car, the people secretly protecting her also got in their cars. Caleb successfully got in the driver's seat. Quincy hopped in the passenger seat and teased, Caleb, I didn't expect you to be the type that would spray perfume your car. Caleb smiled lightly. He glanced at Quincy, started the engine, and drove away. Suddenly, Quincy felt dizzy and passed out. The same happened to Thea in the back seat. She fell back into the seat after falling unconscious. Caleb tore off the human mask and became a rather hideous-looking man. He took out his phone and called the Black Snake. I have them. Where should I bring them now? You have people on your tail. Head to the suburbs and pass by the Nine Dragons Tunnel. I'll try to block them off there. Understood. The man stepped on the accelerator and speeded toward the suburbs. He kept driving and soon reached the Nine Dragons Tunnel. As soon as he entered the tunnel, a large truck came directly across the middle of the road, blocking the car behind him. The people following behind Thea realized the situation and anxiously called Ronald. Ronald, we've got a problem. Thea got taken away, and we got blocked off at the Nine Dragons Tunnel. When Ronald received the call, his expression immediately changed, and he shouted, "Whatever happens, ensure the safety of Thea. You will all be punished with military law if anything happens to her." After reprimanding the team, Ronald took out another phone and dialed another number. Activate the intelligence network immediately. Thea has been kidnapped, and her last known location is the Nine Dragons Tunnel. Immediately investigate it and track Thea's phone. James, who was beside him, overheard both calls. After giving instructions, Ronald hung up and turned to James with a stern expression. James, Thea was kidnapped, said Ronald. How did she get kidnapped with 100 Black Dragon Army soldiers protecting her? What are they doing? James reprimanded. At this moment, the whole process of Thea getting in the vehicle was reported to Ronald. Ronald quickly repeated the story to James. 5 minutes. Get me her location. James wore a terrifying expression. The Nine Dragons Tunnel was more than 10 kilometers in length, and the journey took 10 minutes. There were several cars parked within the tunnel. There were a few black vehicles with fake number plates. Caleb quickly approached and stopped in front of one of the black vehicles. He got out of the car immediately. Several men dressed in black also got out of the black vehicles. These people opened the BMW and carried the two women into the black vehicles. The Black Snake also got out. Black Snake. Caleb walked to him. The Black Snake waved his hand. It isn't safe for you to stay in Kensington for now. You should leave immediately. I've already bought you a villa in Ershenton, and there are tens of millions of cash in the safe there. It's enough for you to get by for a while. Thank you. Caleb promptly thanked him. He abandoned the BMW, got into another car, and quickly left the scene. The Black Snake also got into a car and instructed the driver, "Go." A few minutes after they left, more than a dozen cars rushed into the tunnel. The dozen or so vehicles stopped in front of the BMW. Many people got out of the cars. They checked the cars and found no one. FCK. Ads by Pub Future. A man immediately made a phone call. James, they changed vehicles. There isn't any surveillance in the tunnel. We're unsure of what kind of car Thea had gotten. Mount 5 Valley. James' expression darkened after he got the news. He took out his phone and called the Blythe King. The call was connected very quickly. The Blythe King's voice was transmitted through the phone. What's wrong? Thea has been kidnapped. I don't care what situation you are in right now. Send troops immediately to block the whole city and set up sentries at every intersection. I need to get news about my wife as soon as possible. Also, they changed vehicles in the Nine Dragons Tunnel. James briefly explained the situation. The Blythe King had a troubled expression. There were countless prominent figures in Kensington. It would signify that he was going against them if he chose to send troops at this time. After weighing the pros and cons, the Blythe King agreed. All right, I'll send troops immediately. He hung up the phone. Daniel. Commander. Daniel walked in, saluted, and greeted. The Blight King ordered, immediately issue documents to dispatch all the city's police forces to block every sea, land, air transportations and also the major intersections in the city. Commander, what happened? Daniel was startled and asked. The Blight King had a hint of helplessness on his face. James called saying Thea was kidnapped. What? Daniel's expression immediately changed, and he exclaimed, "Who has the guts to kidnap Thea?" The Blight King shook his head. "How would I know? Just take action immediately." Understood. Daniel quickly went to execute the orders. The Blight King also issued an order to send troops. The military region resounded with sirens. With the sound of the sirens, countless military vehicles were dispatched instantly, and the fully armed soldiers headed out from the military region to all parts of the city. At the same time, helicopters were also dispatched. After the Black Snake transferred Thea and Quincy to another vehicle, they quickly drove out of the Nine Dragons tunnel. "Black Snake, where are we going now?" the driver asked. There was a rare sternness on the Black Dragon's face. This plan was an impulsive one. Kensington was the capital of medicine and now was the annual medical conference festival. This place was also the headquarters of the 5 armies. The Blight King was current in command. The Black Snake would have never come to Kensington if it was an ordinary matter. This time, he took a risk to kill James. He knew that Thea was protected by plenty of people. Now